Hello, and welcome to our back garden. I got a message about 5 minutes ago to go check out what's happening on Nextdoor. And here we are. And already I am feeling sick to my stomach. Martin Keats. Okay, let's have a read. Let's see what is going on. I haven't read any of this, by the way. Martin Keats, 7 hours ago. I have written to NWT Council, North Walsham Town Council, to ask that they remove the pride flag currently flying below the Union Jack, GB, on the flagpole in the Remembrance Garden inside the Remembrance Park. Remembrance should remain non-political. Absolutely. In any occasion with pressure groups, there is no pressure group. This is no pressure group. This is about our community, North Walsham community. Okay. I'm already feeling irate. Remembrance should be non-political in any association with pressure groups, etc. Absolutely. And there was no pressure. As an armed forces veteran, I consider this to be an insult to all those who fought and gave their lives since 1914, 1918, and any armed conflict since. Don't you think there was gay men and women involved in that? I mean, let's talk about that bloke that actually did the, Netflix. Oh, God, what was his name? And they crucified him because they found out that he was gay. But he did he broke the code, didn't he? I can't off the top of my head. I'm too... Well, let's continue. I would love to hear your feedback. Perhaps it's because I'm an old fogey at 71 years old and people don't care the same way as I do. Oh, God. There's 78 comments. Okay, let's get rid of some of this shit that is coming up on my screen. Right, let's see. Let's go right back to the beginning. That's probably a good thing to do. Right behind you on this, there shouldn't be any other flag flying with the Union Jack. Hi, Martin. 100% in agreement with you. Hang on, what's going on? What is going on with this? I concur. Strongly agree. The world has gone mad. Now, North Walsham has gone mad, I'm afraid. I agree. Pride has become a refuge for every perversion and fetish going. It stopped being about recognising homosexuality long ago. A refuge for every perversion and fetish going. No, it doesn't. I've been out more than I've been in. 49 years old. I came out when I was 20. So that's been 29 years I've been out. I've been married 10 years this year. Legally married 10 years this year. And perversions and fetishes going, no. You're talking about paedophiles, wood chipper, every time. So I'm not quite sure where that is going, but I don't like it. But that's okay. We can agree to disagree. Right, Louise Harris. It's Pride Month. There are LGBTQ plus people serving in our country right now. The armed forces have been accepting out-service men and women for over 25 years. And before that, there were many people that served and had to hide in case of being removed from a job they loved and were good at and were made to feel ashamed of who they were. Right on, Louise. Oh, we have an ally. It is a very good thing that we live in a time that your sexuality won't interfere with your career path or land you in jail or ostracised by society. However, this has not always been the case, and hence the need for Pride Month. It's not a big deal, and it shouldn't be removed. The world hasn't gone mad, it's just catching up with the fact that there are a lot of different ways of being and living as a human. Martin Keats has got a reply. But none of what you said, there was anything to do with a reverence and respect. Okay, let's carry on. So can we also have a 9 Pride Month? I think not. I love your response. 11 months of the year. Really not seen them advertised. People of different sexuality are serving in today's armed forces. They are one force, wear the same uniform, do the same training. The past is the past, and there should only be one flag flying. 3 Union flag. God, there's so many other flags that everybody seemed to be forgetting about. Of course not. They don't need to be. It's the norm. Pride only runs 1 month a year. Thus, 11 months are non-Pride. It's about inclusivity, not bigotry, I'm sure. It's not to run to offend the majority of demographics. My arthritic hands are rubbish. Louise, what you have said has nothing to do with the solemnity, reverence and respect of remembrance. A small place like the Remembrance Garden does not need nor deserve any controversy. Are you kidding me? People fucking died in a war and you don't think that's controversy in itself? Okay, carry on. This is difficult. 29 years I've had to put up with this shit. And doesn't get any easier. I'm just showing you. There are indeed gay people in all the services now, and rightly so. But they're just their job. But rightly so, but they are just their job in the armed forces. There is nothing different, nothing extra. They can't message the enemy and ask not to be shot because they are protected by the LPG. Is that really what you think? They get respect they deserve, no more, no less, and that's how the armed forces work. Yeah. Everybody in the armed forces deserve respect. And so do the LGBTQ plus community. We all need respect. Straight people need respect. Everybody needs respect. Well said, Martin. 100% agree. I see your pride flag and raise you heterosexual flag. Could somebody remind me of when heterosexual month is, please? This always happens. Tell you what, you can have a heterosexual day, the day that, let's look at Stonewall. Let's look at the past. Let's look at 1969. Let's look at things. And I'm not great with that sort of history because my history goes more on politics and Egypt and stuff like that, and history. But because of the LGBTQ plus group in front of me, I've been able to live the last 29 years pretty much safely without having to be beaten up on the street or to be in a bar and it to be raided by police because it's homophobic place or homophobia issues. And it's the same as the armed forces and people. We are living in today's society because of them. We can all look back on history of people, of groups that has made our lives better. But you want a heterosexual month. Okay, Terry, you pick a month and we'll celebrate it. You come up with a flag and we'll celebrate it. And I'll make sure that there is a flag hanging underneath the Union flag. And the reason why the Union flag is up is, one, because it was trooping of the colours, and two, it was shown out of respect because of the Indian airline that crashed. Martin, I don't think it's political to fly a pride flag, but it is a strong reminder of intolerance and historical discrimination. Thank you. As a Christian, I would ask you to remember the 90,000 homosexuals arrested by the Nazis and approximately 9,000 that the Nazi exterminated in their death camps. And remember the pink triangle, folks. I also ask you to remember the people that are regularly thrown off the top of buildings in the Middle East and the people that are frequently arrested in Russia solely because of their sexuality. And let's not forget Qatar. Let's not forget Qatar, when the decision 12, 14 years ago was decided that Qatar was going to hold the World Football World Cup. And I remember making a tweet about it, because that was certainly one country that if I decided to want to go along and participate in the celebration of watching England playing football, I would be arrested, and I could also therefore be condemned to death. That is one country I cannot go to, because I would be sentenced to death. And I made a tweet about it, and a prime minister at the time, his wife, started following me on Twitter, and I just thought, why isn't nothing being said? Why isn't his wife speaking out? If she's in agreement with what I said, why not do something about it? But nothing did. Donald Trump signed a multi-exclusive order in his first 3 months in office that impacted the lives of LGBTQ plus Americans from healthcare. He also removed the, the Equality Act as well. So a lot of people actually that was working in the aerospace got fired, and then more plane crashes happened, because it wasn't about your ability and qualifications to be able to do your job. It was about taking away your equality of your job and putting in people that couldn't do the job. You all know what I'm talking about. I don't need to go into it. Tolerance is still needed in the world. Yes, it is. Martin, I merely asked you to think about the relevance of the pride flag in the Remembrance Garden. Remembrance in and of itself has always been inclusive. Really? Really, Martin? What have you just said there? It's never needed individual groups to be highlighted as part of it. How many flags are out there of individual groups that get flown? Are you shitting me? What other groups should we individualise and make special cases for? No, Martin, this is about our fucking community, all right? Daft twat. And 6 million Jews, but no Israel flag on that pole. Jesus Christ. But no special place for the Star-Spangled Banner in memory of those guys. The flying of a single Union Jack symbolises all British people who lost their lives, whether in the battlefront as victims or bombing raids. Does the British flag not actually show pride? Does it always have to be about war? By virtue of your response, that pride flag, in this case, is political statement. We are being prosecuted and we want the world to know. We are gay, bi, trans, etc. and proud. We want the world to know. A memorial garden is not the place in such A memorial gardens is not the place in as much as a pride parade is no place to be flying in a Conservative Party flag regardless of any political sexuality. A memorial gardens is not the place in as much as a pride parade. There was no pride parade. It was picnic in the park, actually. There was no parade. There is no place to be flying a Conservative Party flag. This is no difference to a lifeboat station flying an IRNL flag and Coastal Watch saying we keep an eye out on the coast, so we think we should have our flag on the RNLI flagpole. Oh, here we go. Well, maybe a flag for heterosexuals then. Go on then, come up with one. Don't want you to feel left out. Fuck me. Jesus Christ. Terry, your response, I couldn't have worded it any better. I have tolerance for LGBTQIA. Probably not correct initials. But I wish they would not advertise their preference sexual activity, but you want a heterosexual day or month. What's that advertising? I'm not advertising my sexuality. I'm advertising my freedom to be myself, to be with my wife, walking down the road, holding hands, not holding hands, and just not having any fear. But you all have to go straight to sex, don't you? Straight to sex. Do not see the need for such days and marches and celebrations, etc., etc. I have no wish or need for that sort of education, clearly. NWT, it also stands for Norfolk Wildlife Trust. LBGT in the forces now, beds allowed, etc. It's not like back in the day, or even in my day, as a long-serving RAF wife. It doesn't matter if people that serve are gay or not. They are doing a job that many others do every day. Do you honestly think there were no gays or lesbians back in your day fighting for our country but hiding their true selves because of how frowned upon it was back then? Of course there was. I'm sure they will, but the point is exactly that. They never made a song and dance event out of it, especially trying to tack onto anything to do with remembrance. Jesus Christ, he's hung up. You're hung up about that, aren't you, Martin? They never made a song and dance, no, because probably if they did, they got beaten up in the barracks. Remembrance is probably the most inclusive and unique way of honouring those who died fighting for our country. Martin, people are still dying for our country. Think of all the countries that were involved in World War II. Think of all the different religions that were involved. None of which mattered. Neither did anybody's sex or sexuality. None of which was discussed. People fighting for a common cause was all that mattered. So why try and separate out into a small minority? Do we fly the national flag of each country on their national days or on patron saint days? Actually, some people do. Some people do. There's a lot of flagpoles out there, guys. The Ukraine one, God, I have seen that flag so many times. The act of remembrance is wholly inclusive. Well, clearly not. I can see no reason for individualising any group. Well, good for you, Gutman. It's good that you've got to your 71 years without having to face any hate for who you are, for what you love, for what you believe in. Good for you, Martin. Good for you. Yeah, Falklands, the Gulf, Afghanistan, Northern Ireland. Absolutely never. I forgot about them. I could go on and on. I mean, come on. Israel has bombed 7 countries so far. And now we're out involved. Well, we were involved because we were selling our bullets to them. But now we are involved even more. So, yeah, you could include that one. You're obviously stuck way back in the past. And to be honest, that's where your opinions belong to. So sad how closeted some people are. I wonder how many gays and lesbian troops and pilots are on their way out to Cyprus now to be ready for the Middle East shout-outs. Does it matter? They are brave no matter their sexual preference. If someone you really love needed a life-saving op, would you ask the surgeon and scrub team if any were gay or lesbian? Or let your loved ones die? Just like Trump. I hope this post of yours get taken down as you are so prejudiced. You don't deserve any recognition. Disgraceful and disgusting. Oh, Linda. So would you object to a new heterosexual flag? Okay, we need to make a heterosexual flag for you North Walshamers. That's what we need to do. And we need to pick a date. How about that? And the chances are, if that flag was raised, none of you would be there because none of you was there for VE Day. None of you are going to be there for VJ Day. Who actually go along to these events where the flags get raised in the Memorial Park? None of you. And yet you've got a whole big opinion about it. Bromwell. They wouldn't make a song and dance about it because what do you think would have happened if they had? I think options were prison or chemical castration. Thank you very much. These are definitely the options Turing was giving. That's his name. Check it up on Netflix about his life story. How he kept it hidden about being gay and yet he did the decoding and stopped the war, stopped World War II. And then he ended up being chemical castrated and then commit suicide. He was a war hero. Others kept quiet to stay safe. Absolutely. And Martin, you've totally contradicted yourself. Isn't this kind of freedom a part of what you are fighting for? Pride resents more than just some people being gay. It's not being repressive. So why do we not have a flag flown for the land army women? Were they not an amazing group who helped this country enormously? Why not the Sheiks, the Hindus? Why not the Kenyans and many other African countries? Yeah, exactly, Martin. That's all been brushed under the carpet, hasn't it, Martin? Because to have a Sheik's flag or a Hindu flag, land army women, all of that get brushed under the carpet, Martin, because of well, I was going to say bigotry, actually, but maybe that's not the right word. But all what you said there, why are they not all included? Because they don't get taught, Nigel. Sorry, not Nigel, Martin. Are they taught in schools? No. You've got the Gurkhas, yes. So is it consistency you're arguing for? For me, it's a question whether it's something to do with a bit bemused about or something to object and complain about. If it's the latter, then it becomes about tolerance, doesn't it? Tolerance, freedom, these are closely linked to the sacrifices that were made. Absolutely. You see, if this was Facebook, if this was North Walsham Notice Board, oh my God, if this was North Walsham Argumentative Board, oh my God, that would be extremely difficult to even got this far down the post. But what I like about this is people are talking. People are sharing their opinions. There's no name calling and stuff. It's me that's doing it because slightly angry, slightly upset, disappointed, and tolerance and freedom. And our community. He feels and agrees that it's not the time or place. What isn't the time? What's the time? What? Because it was the trooping of colours. We had to pick a day during the month that we could celebrate and put the flag up. That was all. For the gays and lesbians and the bisexuals, the LGBTQ community that is already in North Walsham. That was all. Just to show them that there's an ally. We are supported. To see a pride flag does make me smile. In here as well. Time or the place. It's the only flagpole in North Walsham. They can't get one put at the building of Cedar because they can't actually attach it to the building because they don't own it. But there is going to be a flagpole placed outside. And that is where next year flags are going to be raised. And as the memorial garden goes, nobody's going to go there to have a picnic. Less people are going to use it. Because you just get the odd bloke in there with their dogs, the odd child that run through. It's a lovely garden, that was all. And I had a picnic in the garden on that day. And it was lovely to be surrounded by everything that this country holds and values. I don't believe in war, I believe in peace. But I respect every single name on that plaque. and it was nice to share it, that was all. So the time and the place. Da-da-da-da-da. What else have we got? Martin Keats. I have a daughter who is lesbian, so I certainly know and accept. Do you? Do you, Martin? I'm just trying to question the relevance of one small group out of many. No, there isn't a one small group. It's about acceptance in a community, Martin, because there's many more flags coming. When it is plain to most of us that it is a small, political, motivated group seeking attention. God, you are so wrong, Martin. Why them in the Memorial Garden and not the Indian Muslims? What the hell are you talking about? Susan, I am from a surface area. We are all disgusted with the political use of the Memorial Park. There was no political use. It was a place me and my wife could go, and many other gays and lesbians, and the rest of the alphabet, that could go along and have a picnic and feel that we support everybody. The ones that are turning this in particular, I can't even say it now, political use is you guys. You guys are reading into it being a political issue. Here we go. If they wanted to fly this flag, they should have found another flagpole. There isn't another flagpole, perhaps at the council offices. They can't because they don't own the building. So therefore, they've now got to go through planning permission to get another flagpole outside of the council offices. And then many flags will be flying there. And like I say, the memorial gardens will just sit. But it would have been nice to have felt now that next year we could have enjoyed that space because it was a beautiful space. Susan, when was the last time you had a picnic there? You took your family there? You had a picnic on the lawn? Listen to the birds, listen to the wind? How many of you? In what way is it insulting to the war dead? Terry, to me it's like graffiti on the... Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. Remembrance Sunday should not be interfered with. It wasn't. But are any other flags flown? Yes, there are. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a list. I want to get a list of the flags from the town council because I know that there are other flags. International Women's Day was one that I have brought up. However, no one wants their views rammed down our throats. What views, Dave? What views have been rammed down your throat? It's not very good. Rammed down your throat. Totally agree. Live and let not impose your beliefs or views on each other. What, like you're already doing in this post about World War I and World War II. Come on, let's look at all of them. Maybe you should have a little think about world peace really means and many takes. Perhaps pause, reflection on before starting with a petty quarrel on here just because you're easily offended by a world and its people. What an unnecessary outpouring of vitriol this thread is, particularly as you now admit that it was the result of you making a silly mistake. Seems you should have gone to Specsavers or done a little research or just shown some tolerance and human kindness. You know, those things so many died to protect. I hope peace will find your heart. I would delete this thread if I were you because it's beneath the platform encouraging unified communities, and also because given this aspect post of yours that I'm responding to, you have, I'm afraid, seriously embarrassed yourself. Yeah, very well said, Louise, very well said. Martin Brewer, I'm not quite sure what that comment is about. Unfortunately, Linda, that's not the case. It doesn't support everyone. Wow. Wow. So there you have it. On that note, I'm going to go to bed and be grateful that there were people on that thread that that supported but for now I am going to go. So, cheerio for now.